This video is meant to be a companion video with the one I previously recorded called Cheap Effective Marketing Using Open Dental. The purpose of this video is to show you how to do the setup of the features that I talked about in that previous video. If you haven't watched the previous video yet, I suggest you do that before you watch this one. And the link to that video is in the description of this video below. So this is what I hope will be only the first in a series of videos, not for the whole office staff, but for your office wizard, the person in the office who's actually going to set up and execute some of these new features in Open Dental. It's often a waste of time to have everybody in the office understand how to do specific setup things in Open Dental. Obviously, we do this for our clients, but you can also designate one person as your office wizard who's going to know how to set up these different features in Open Dental. So don't panic when you see the list of things you need to do to set up the web scheduling for new and existing patients. We're going to walk through each one of these things, but also I've created a PDF series of cheat sheets for each one of the slides, and you can download those in the description of this video also. In other words, you've got the step-by-step instructions in PDF format to try and make it a little bit easier. Also, you may have some of these things set up already, and you may actually need to have Open Dental help you with some of the setup, and I'll point some of those things out as we go along. So the first thing you're going to do, if you haven't done it already, is sign up for the EServices. So you're going to go up to EServices at the top of the main menu and click on that, then click on Sign Up. And down towards the bottom of that page, it has the web scheduling for new and existing patients. You can sign up just for this, in other words, a la carte, or you can sign up for the bundle. If you're not already signed up for web scheduling for recalls, you probably ought to do that. And my suggestion is you sign up for the bundle, because we're also going to need, or at least it's very useful to have, the texting. A nice feature is if you decide you don't like it and want to unsign up, that's pretty easy to do also. If you're not already using the email feature in Open Dental, you need to sign up for that in order for this to work properly. Now, there's no charge for this. This is not officially part of the EServices. However, it's really useful to also have the texting, which is pretty cheap, and again, part of the EServices bundle. You may have to have Open Dental help you get the email to work correctly if you're not already using it. The next thing we're going to do is set up some appointment types. So we're going to go to Setup and then Appointments and Appointment Types. And you can create new ones in here. Now, my advice is don't get carried away creating too many different appointment types. These are very convenient and very useful, but not if you clutter up this with 80 zillion different kinds with 80 zillion different colors. However, we do need to have appointment types that we're going to use for our web scheduling, and this is where you're going to set them up. Now notice that I can put in the correct provider time and link procedures to these appointment types. I don't have to, but sometimes, for instance, in this case where it's a new patient, that's a very convenient thing to be able to do. So we set up our appointment types. The next thing we're going to do is link those appointment types to the actual web scheduling options we're going to show patients. So in order to do that, we're going to go to Setup and Definitions, and then down at the bottom of the definitions, number 3 on the list there, you see Existing and New Patients. And over on the right-hand side, you're going to link what the patient sees, in this case the checked tooth, with the appointment type that you've previously set up. Now, it's important to recognize that the patient is going to see what you put in on the left there, number 5. They're not going to see over there number 6. That's the link that you're using internally in the office. So you want to make the reason something that the patient will understand, such as a checked tooth, a free consultation, cleaning and exam, whatever you want to put in there. But make it clear to the patient in patient language that they can understand this. And as I said, you're going to set these up both for your new patients and for your existing patients. So there's two different sets of options that you can present these patients for scheduling. Next, we want to make sure that our schedule is set up correctly. So I'm going to go to Setup and then Schedule, and I want to make sure that each provider is in there on the correct day and in the correct columns. Be sure that you schedule a lunch too, because the web scheduling and also the Make Recall button are going to look at this to decide where it's best to schedule patients. So you need to make sure your schedule is correct. Again, you may have set this up already, and so you don't have to repeat that step. One thing to know about this is you can copy a day or copy a week, and you can even copy a week like 52 times if you work the same schedule every week. So that's a really convenient feature in there. So we got our providers set up in the schedule. Now we need to set up our operatories. So I'm going to go to the same place, set up appointments, only this time I'm going to operatories. And I'm going to tell Open Dental what kinds of procedures with which providers I can do in each operatory. In other words, I'm going to have the hygienist set up so they can do web scheduling for recall patients, but you may or may not want them to see new patients, and it wouldn't make any sense to have them see emergency patients. So you set all these things up there in your operatory setup. Hey, we're on the last step at last, and this is a pretty easy one. What you want to do is get the link that the patients are going to click on in order to web schedule. And you do that by going to the EServices, then down at the bottom to Advanced, and then right down there where number 2 is, it has the link that you can copy to the clipboard. This is the link you're going to send to your web person and say, make my button in there that says click here to schedule your own appointment, and this is the link I want on that button. This is also the link you're going to use with your QR code, and there's a million different QR code generators out there and they're free. So that's really easy to do. Every piece of paper that goes out of your office should have a QR code on it. The last step that's not on the list, because this is something you should do every single time you make a change in Open Dental, is to test, test, test. All good wizards know that they're going to test. NASA says that one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. So before you put your crew on that spaceship and shoot them off into space, test it, make sure everything works. Send yourself an email, schedule your own appointment, make sure everything's working the way you want it to work before you turn this loose on the world. So here's a list of all the steps again that we went through. And keep in mind that the PDFs of these slides with those little checklists as we went along are all available down in the description of this video. Just click on it to load the PDFs of the slides. So if you like the video, please click on the like button. Also, please subscribe and click on the bell icon so you're notified about future videos, and share it with your friends. We appreciate it. If you'd like some other Open Dental features to help make your practice more profitable and easier to operate, give us a call. That's what we do.